All right, ladies, gentlemen, and kiddies, thanks to Ducati Motorcycles of North America, Go Easy Power Sports in Scottsdale, and I'm at the Overland Expo in Flagstaff, Arizona. And today, I will taste test this bike, the Ducati Scrambler 62. I dedicate this taste test to my sister. She just bought this in Manila. And I rode this bike in Manila already.
Before we get started, if you guys would like to follow my various shenanigans in the internet, you can follow me on my flagship site, Lapid.com. As you can see, you'll find my appearances on the radio, my future projects, or some of my shenanigans that I'm thinking about doing. Here you can also see my gears and gadgets list, on where you can see some Amazon affiliate accounts, on which, when you click it, it will have no cost to you, but it will help my channel greatly. Also the usual YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, also on Daily Motion, also on some alternative sites like Library, Odyssey, Minds, Gab, CloudHub, the recently returned Parler. Also trying to figure out BitChute at the moment, and I'm trying to figure out how do I approach Rumble. In the future, you might hear me saying that I'm on Rumble or whatever. So, on to the video.
Here we go. So familiar. And while we're waiting for the group to take off, ergonomics check. I'm 6'3", 200 to 220 pounds, with a 35-inch overall inseam in a size 13 foot, and I'm completely flat-footed. Cruiser-like ergonomics while foot down. And this is the entry level, the cheapest way you can get into a Ducati. The 62. This Ducati is 400cc, unlike the one in front of us that is 800, unlike the one over there is 1100, and this one, Desert Sled, is 800. This is 400cc. So this is the basically your beginner bike for Ducati. And here we go. Alrighty. Okay. As far as I remember, with my sister's all-black 62, this bike is very light. Of course, you expect that on a 400cc retro scrambler bike. And unlike with the other European makes, like BMW and KTM, this is not made in India. This is made in Italy. Valentino Rossiland, Ferrari, of course Ducati. One thing's for sure that you can notice on the 62 is its overly wide handlebars. It's very light, it's very basic. It's so basic, in fact, it doesn't even have a gear shift indicator. But you can really feel its Italianness on this bike, even for a lower price point compared to other Italian bikes. Basically, this bike is your gateway drug to Italian motorcycling, which is pretty significant. For some reason, this bike is on high beams, and I can't turn it off for some reason. So far it feels so light, very light. In fact, the exhaust is on the quiet side per se. The front brakes is very tactile, very responsive, and easy to modulate too. That whistling sound is one of the. It feels like you're riding a triple 3-cylinder cc motorcycle. Very nice. It's very light. One thing I remembered from my sister's bike is that it's very, very nimble, very light. The wider handlebars helps a lot in general. So vibrations on this bike, I feel a minimal vibrations on the foot peg. No vibrations on my butt, but there's a little medium vibrations on the handlebars. You gotta need the gummy grips on this one. The gear lever, the resistance is very light, perfect for commuting. The release is like almost 90% towards full release. That's where the grab bite is at. As far as I remember riding this bike back in Manila, when it gets moving, it's a very satisfying bike to ride, even on a hot weather. But unfortunately, along with the hot weather in this bike, I remember that there was a substantial heat emanating on my right leg, right around between my thigh to all the way down to my ankle area. And if you're stuck on a stop and go traffic for long periods of time, a lot of 62 riders or even some 800 riders are getting to a point that they're burning their legs already. There are two things that you can do to that. First, you wear a riding jean, like a Kevlar lined riding jeans, or if you cannot afford to get a riding jean, just turn off the engine, because on a stop and go traffic it can be very unbearable. And unfortunately, there is no heat shield available as of this recording for the 400, but there is one available for the 800, for the Icon and that Desert Sled. Rev matching is pretty easy, pretty effortless. The gear selector is easy to shift. It requires minimal effort, so even if you're wearing a skater shoe or if you're squidding, it won't bother you in the long run. Right now I'm wearing a work boot suitable for this overlanding stuff. It's mostly off-roading. But on this Ducati demo, it's not the case. It's more street. That's what we're instructed to do. But I'm just glad that Ducati made the initiative to let us try all the Scrambler models. And then later on, once I'm back in Manila, I will try my sister's bike on how it does in Manila traffic. The Marilaki test and the EDSA rush hour test. I don't know if my sister's unit has an exhaust. This one is way quieter than I expected. And just like when I rode my sister's 62, this one, I'm not wearing earplugs at the moment. Okay, the rear brakes is a little bit on the mushy side. I didn't quite remember that when I rode my sister's 62. But tight maneuvering this bike is very easy. The wide handlebars really helps very well. One thing I also noticed when I rode my sister's 62, her Scrambler, all black, is that I noticed this one has a very large turning radius. It's like it has that Panigale turning circle. Usually when you expect a bike like this, a naked Scrambler looking bike, the turning circle would be a little bit better for city riding, but this one turns way wider than a V-Strom or a Duke 390 in comparison. It has an all-digital tachometer. The tachometer is somewhat hard to see if you're trying to glance at it, but the speedometer really stands out. And the way this engine revs is on the slow side. It doesn't go boom boom boom. It has a little lax into it. But you can really feel when you're upshifting, you can really feel the gears coming in, but you don't feel it. It's not clunky at all. It's very smooth. On this not so perfect road right here, the right is a little bit on the stiffer side. It has a very stiff suspension. I remembered when I rode my sister's 62, it has a very stiff suspension setting. But if you're learning how to ride a bike, that's good, because at least you can get a grasp of riding this bike, a bike like this actually, in general. Very satisfying bike to go at limit. The brakes are very responsive. If you want to have fun with this bike, you can. You have the option to. Usually when I'm riding with bikes with knobbies, the vibrations can be a little unbearable, but this one, it isolates it a little better than the typical other bikes with knobbies in it. Yeah, this bike is so basic. Well, it's an entry-level Ducati. What can you expect if you're used to bare-bones European bikes? Oh yeah, like the R9T Pure. I rode that R9T Pure, and it has the same class as this, but that thing costs almost double than this Ducati. This one has a lower price point than that R9T. The competitor to this 62, the Scrambler 62, will be the Duke 390, the Z400, and the G310 BMW. But that BMW, I don't know, man. Stay tuned to that video if I haven't uploaded it yet. I really want to do a video taste testing my sister's 62 in Manila so bad, because here in the US it's perfect. In Manila, it's very fun to push it a limit. You just need an exhaust, and I bet this engine will sing to you. To be honest, I would recommend this bike taking it to the freeways, but on the country highways like this, it's bearable. It's very bearable. I'm acting like I'm riding a van going all the way down on the throttle. Well, of course, I'm the only 400cc in this group. Most of these guys are riding at 800 in the 1100. So of course, you better expect that. I was surprised that it feels like autumn here in Flagstaff, while in Las Vegas right now it's trickling around 90 degrees. Here on the other hand is around 60. I hit my foot on that one. It's easy to lean this bike too. If you want to lean it more, you can. Unfortunately at speed, I can barely hear the engine. It feels muted right around between 4,000 to 6,000 revs. And then when you go over 6,000 revs, that's where you hear the engine really well. The vibration starts right around 4,000 K, and it gets worse as the revs goes up. I think this bike, aside from the windscreen, it has a similar specification as my sister's, because this one has the brush guard on the headlight. But other than that, this one is the base orange, the orange color, while my sister's, oh, it has that accessory in the middle, that leather tank accessory. My sister's unit is all black, similar spec to this, and I think yeah, it's almost similar spec to this. I can't wait to ride this bike in the Philippines. Also, just for enthusiast note, both the clutch lever, the brake lever are adjustable too. So yeah, happy to those custom enthusiasts. Since everyone is standing up, let me stand up on this one. Oh, it's hard. I'm too tall for this bike. What a beautiful place here Flagstaff is. It feels like I'm in Oregon at some degree. It's not as thick and lush as Lake George, New York, but it's really up there. Surrounded by pine trees. It smells like Christmas here. Merry Christmas. For some reason this unit is stuck on high beams. Even the European spec model that my sister has, it has daytime running lights too, so I don't get it why this unit is stuck at high beams. It revs as slowly than you expected. Usually a smaller cc bike revs like wing, you know. This one is a little bit more lax. Now I'm kind of noticing that the brakes on the 62, although it's easy to modulate and everything, it feels a little mushy. It's on the mushy side. And it might be stiff on rough surfaces, but on certain surfaces, this bike can glide over some sharp ruts on the road. Because on that last rough road that I just encountered, I didn't feel much. But on the end of the bridge right there, it's pretty stiff. it has a stiff suspension. So we're on our way back at what is this park? Fort Tuthill County Park in Flagstaff, Arizona. This is the traditional location for the Overland West in North America. Alrighty, I'm just following this guy in a desert sled. Ouchie. my foot got caught on the road while I was upshifting. Oh boy. And now we're back at the fairgrounds on this nice and chilly weather out here in Overland West. Awesome event. This is like Laughlin River Run, but with adventure bikes, dirt bikes, in 4x4 RVs. The Laughlin, on the other hand, is more cruisers and traditional RVs. I like the whistle on this engine. It reminds you that you're riding a Speed Triple R, Street Triple R, any of those 3-cylinder motorcycles. Wow, is that a 990 Adventure? Slick. Here we go as we march back in the Ducatista. Actually, the Philippines, the Ducati community there is really strong. Just like here in the US, the Scrambler in the Philippines is pretty popular. Some movie stars owns this type of bikes. But I gotta ask them, how do they deal with the excessive heat on your right leg? I bet the forums someday will devise a solution to solve that heat emanating on your right leg on this one. Because right now, it's like 60 degrees Fahrenheit right now here in Flagstaff. I'm not feeling it. So I gotta ride this bike again in Manila to see the misery of of riding it on tropical weather. And we're back at the Ducati school bus. Low speed maneuverability on this bike is very well sorted. Very nice. Okay, there you go, neutral. And off. And off. And the kickstand is kind of hard to find. Oh, it has that enlarger over there. My sister's doesn't have that. And here you go. It leans a little bit too far, but it's okay. There you go, the Scrambler 62, or you can call it Scrambler 400. See, of course, as a budget bike like this, of course, Ducati cut some corners in regards to the price range that this bike has. Unlike the upper level Scrambler models, like the Icon over there, this one is a one-piece tank. It doesn't have that 3D effect like all the Scramblers here are. And then, of course, the smaller engine, the 400cc engine here. I already put the specs up for you guys, so I'm not gonna delve into that. Oh yeah, this one has the aftermarket tail light, turn signal right here, because the usual tail light, the usual turn signal looks like this. But this is the American version. I think my sister's 62 is smaller than this. Yeah, she has the same brush guard, but she doesn't have this, and of course she doesn't have this. So it's okay. She just bought the bike and everything. Hi sis. You can follow her on Instagram too. So this is the Ducati Scrambler 62 or Scrambler 400. Hit the subscribe button, like, comment, suggest, and then press the ding dong next to it for you to get updated to all my videos. And to my website, mellapid.com. Thumbs up on the Scrambler 62. And I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.